So as previously mentioned, there are two ways we find most effective to actually set this up. One being built for external clients, guiding them through any sort of crisis situation, and the other used for your internal business needs, again, aiding you through emergencies or specific crisis situations. So we won't have time to fully run through both scenarios today, but we're going to demo for you the ways that you can kind of set this up for your clients, very similar on how you would be setting them up internally or externally, but we're going to focus on creating this for your clients, maybe building something like a dawn raid emergency template, unannounced visit. So I'll guide you through how you as a business can go about creating these emergency task lists, creating tasks within those actual emergencies, giving your clients access to them, managing the overall tasks, as well as reports once the emergency has ended. On the client side of it, we'll quickly jump into actually the ease of just reporting the emergency, completing those tasks that have been assigned to you, and also communicating within this emergency, whether it's the client internally or communicating externally with you as their business partner. So let's go ahead and jump into our demo. As you can see here, we have this nicely styled out in mobile view, really clean and easy to use. If we're doing something like creating an emergency task list, we may want to do this from web view just because it's a little easier to kind of manage. We're putting in a bit more content, so let's go ahead and do it from web view. So we're going to go ahead and get started, as I mentioned, creating these emergency tasks templates for your clients. So I know my client already exists, is one of the users of my platform. We already have them set up as an organization. So I'm going to go ahead here and create a new template. So you'll see here, I have the option to create a new one that's going to be blank. I also have the option to make a copy of an existing template. This could be used, say you have a very similar template that's going to be used across clients, but there's little tweaks and changes that you need to make. What I can be doing here is making a copy of it, making the tweaks and changes, and then assigning that to my specific client or organization. So I'm going to go ahead and create one from scratch. So I am going to fill out the details of this emergency template. So I'm going to go ahead and name this Dawn Raid for my client Fliplet. If there's any specific instructions or description you need to put here, you can go ahead and add that. I'm going to move down to my list state. This is pretty important here, so we want to make sure we're putting it into the correct state. It's always going to default to draft, meaning it's being created, it's being edited. There's no live emergency. It's available for people to use. So I'm going to leave it in draft. We do also have the option, if it was a live emergency, to put it into emergency state, or archive, meaning we're not using it anymore, or the emergency has ended. But I'm going to go ahead and leave that in draft. We also want to go ahead and make sure we're assigning the right status to this. So I'm going to leave it as private. Private, again, meaning I'm assigning this only to my specific client. They will be the only ones that have access to it. I also have the option to go ahead and put it as public, meaning that anyone can see this. It's available for all users. We have this nice QR code that you can kind of scan and actually allow users outside of your business to go ahead and fill out that emergency as well. We can also set it as a system template, meaning it's going to be available to all users of our app. I'm going to leave it as private for now. If we have any associated cover images, I can go ahead and drop that in there as well. And we move down to our intake forms. So our intake forms are going to be pre-formatted forms that basically allow you to collect any sort of information from the user before they report an emergency. So this could be something like a alternate contact number, a picture of a subpoena, a picture of a warrant, anything that will kind of help aid you through the emergency. The client will be required to provide this to you before they submit the emergency as live. Again, this is optional. It doesn't have to be turned on, but we can do that. Another optional option here is our surveys. So we can connect a survey to this, meaning that the client, again, will be prompted to complete the survey when the emergency has finished. So another way for you to kind of engage with your clients, see how the whole emergency process went, what you could be doing to improving it, etc. So we have connected a pre-populated survey here that will be prompted for the user to fill. I'm also now just going to move down, leave myself as the author. As I mentioned, I'm going to be signing this to my organization Fliplet, and I will go ahead and save this task. Okay, so we can see now here we have created this emergency template. There's no tasks in it, so our next step is going to be populating it with the actual tasks of it. So I'll go ahead and click on this Add Task button. The nice thing here is we can add our tasks one at a time. If you have a long list of tasks, that could potentially be a little bit of work. So what we're going to go ahead and do is copy and paste our list of tasks in here. So I've taken this from another document. There's 9 tasks. I can create these all at once, so I'm not having to go through the tedious one-by-one steps. So I'll go down here and assign a few things to it. So if I need to link it to another screen in the app for more information, I can do that. Not going to do that at the minute. If I know that who I'm assigning these to, I can go ahead and assign. I'm just going to assign them to this user for now. I'm going to assign my priority as medium. As I said, this is going to apply to all of these tasks, the 9 we're creating, and I'll show you after we do this how we kind of jump back in and make tweaks and changes to the tasks in a pretty quick and easy fashion. Due dates, if we know a fixed due date, I can set that. This is going to be a template, not really sure if and when the emergency is going to be happening, so I'm going to leave this as no due date and save our tasks. So as you can see here, I have all 9 tasks nicely created for me. I want to go ahead now, as I mentioned, and make a few tweaks and changes to them. So I'm going to use our multi-select option. I'm going to go ahead and pick these 3 and make a quick edit to them. What I want to do here is change the priority of them. I know these are really important, so I'm going to change those to high priority, update them. You'll see here they've all now changed to high priority. I'm going to make one more quick change and assign these 2 I know need to go to myself. So I'm going to edit these tasks and I'm going to assign them to myself and update the tasks. So you can see here, I've now created my emergency template. I have all the tasks in it. The last thing I want to do before I send this over to the client for use is go ahead and join the emergency. So joining the emergency means me as the business partner or the lawyer, whatever I am to this client, has kind of oversight on what's happening in this emergency as a whole. So anytime this template is used, anytime any action is taken in the template, I'm going to be notified. I'm going to be alerted that there's things happening in them. I can always leave the emergency if it's not relevant to me anymore. And as many people from my business can kind of join this and have oversight. Okay, so we've set up this emergency. We're now going to jump out of this and pretend like we are the client. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to my home screen. Back on my home screen here, I am the client. There now is an emergency. I'm going to go ahead and report that emergency and then start completing some of my tasks within it. So I do have the option to run test emergencies. So if we want to be doing any practice, we do have that option. For now, I'm going to run a live emergency. So I'm going to click on that, go to make a copy of an existing template. I know that my business partner has already created this for me, my dawn raid attack Fliplet. I'm going to go ahead and create. I will change the date here to today's date, just so we know that this is live on today's date. Not really much else I need to do here. The only and most important thing I need to be doing is setting this as live as an emergency. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So now, as I'm saving this, the notifications are going out to everyone involved with this, whether it's my organization who have joined to use the app, in my business partner's organization as well. We're all being notified that emergency has gone live and we all need to start taking action on it. So if I come back to my home screen here, you'll see I have now this nice dashboard at the top alerting me that there is a live emergency, overview on what's happening in it. I can see here that I have 2 tasks assigned to myself. So I want to go ahead and show you how we would start completing those tasks. So we're going to jump into this now. I can see all the tasks that are available in this emergency, already pre-set up for me. I'm going to go ahead and jump into mine and make some action on them. So I'm in my task here. The first thing I want to do is change it to in progress, meaning I'm working on it. I have the option to attach any documents that are required. I could go ahead and attach those. I also have the option to comment and chat with anyone that's also assigned to this task. So let's say I attach the document and I want people to go ahead and read that. I've just put a little comment here. This again is going to send notifications to everyone that's involved with this task, letting them know that kind of a question or action has been taken in this task. You'll see here these system messages have also been produced. So this is anytime any action is being taken in the task, the system is already automatically stamping the progress or the changes that are being made. So again, just keeping everyone in the loop with what's happening within this task and keeping us all on the same page. So anything that we need to kind of make edits to, we can do that in here. I've finished this. I'm going to go ahead and mark this as done. Again, you'll see the system comment has gone there, and I will go ahead and close out of this. So we've all gone through, we've completed all of our tasks. The emergency has been completed. We now want to go ahead and close that emergency. So I am going to go ahead and do that now. If I pop into our edit list button, we are going to change this. As I mentioned, it now needs to go into archive state, meaning the emergency has finished. I'm going to go ahead and do that, save the task list. Again, notifications are going out to everyone, letting them know that the list or the emergency has ended. Back on my home screen here, you can see that it has moved from the emergencies. There are 0 emergencies. It's now popped into our archive list. I'm also being prompted to complete the survey that I set up previously when I made my emergency task list. It's here for me to complete, prompted to take it as soon as the emergency has ended. The last thing I just want to show you is reporting on this. So if I come back into my archive list, I'm going to jump back into the emergency and click on reports here. You can see that I have this nice dashboard of everything that has happened within this emergency, task statuses, the users involved with the tasks, due dates, tag words, average time spent, survey results, etc. So a really nice overview of everything that kind of has happened in the emergency. I have the option to print this and share it with my colleagues. So I know that was a really quick demo, lots to go over in this. We're really excited to give it to you guys.